Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Northern Ireland graphic inside the middle, that'll do. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the latest episode of the Soccer Podcast Show. I'm your host, Paul, and I'm delighted to be joined by my co-host, Noel. So, Noel, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
How are you doing, Paul?
Now, Noel, just a quick, we'll just do a quick podcast today. It's a follow-on from the World Cup. As we know, with the Irish team, as we know, like the men's team, in the island of Ireland, there's 2 ladies international teams, the Republic of Ireland ladies team and the Northern Ireland ladies team. In the World Cup, as we know, the Irish manager, Vera Pauw, her contract now, I believe, after the World Cup her contract is out. Now, there is speculation. The FAI are holding an internal review. I believe it's been finished. They're talking about publishing it fairly soon, but there is discussion whether she'll be they're not reappointed, given a new contract, or will they let her go and get a new manager? And in the meantime, in Northern Ireland, the original manager was let go, but they have appointed a new manager. Her name is Tanya Oxtoby. I believe she was just recently the assistant manager of the Chelsea ladies team, which will be one of the top teams in England. So this is a major appointment. And of course, the context is both Irish teams, the Republic of Ireland ladies team and the Northern Ireland ladies team, in about a month's time are playing in the Nations League tournament in Lansdowne Road. So just what are your thoughts on this? The Northern Ireland have moved in and with a new manager, but there's a bit of doubt over the Republic of Ireland ladies team manager.
Yeah, there's a bit of doubt over the Republic of Ireland ladies, man. But just on Tanya first, look, I think it's a good appointment for Northern Ireland. You know, getting the system manager Chelsea ladies. Chelsea ladies, of course, have won the WSL the last 4 years in a row. So she's coming from good stock. She's coming from.
Sorry, no, just again. So just to clarify that for the listeners. So Chelsea will be the defending English ladies and double champion, but they will be all in the top. They'll be one of the very top teams in the English ladies professional league.
Oh, definitely. I'm one of the top teams in Europe now. They haven't won the Champions League. They've got the Champions League final, but Barcelona beat them there a couple of years ago. But she's coming. She would have learned a lot. She worked with good young players, very good players at Chelsea, because they've won the last 4 in a row in the WSL in the women's league in England. So that's very, very high praise. So she probably wants a new challenge. She probably wants something to being the main person and being the main coach with the team in Northern Ireland. I think this is a good appointment for Northern Ireland. I think, Kenny Shields did wonders with Northern Ireland. I think he said it's probably one of the best Northern Ireland achievements in sport, getting the women's team to the Euros there a couple of years ago. Because I think that they play Ukraine in the playoff and they won it. And they were the first team on the island of Ireland for a women's team to get to a major tournament. So that's like, I know it was the Euros for the Northern Ireland, it was the Republic for the World Cup. So, and unfortunately they didn't do as well in the World Cup qualifying group as the Republic, but
yeah,
they're regrouped now. And that look, I think this game now in just under a month's time, I think it's the start of Paul 3 seconds. It's going to be in the Aviva Stadium, Lansdowne Road. So I think, Northern Ireland have got their act together. They got a new manager in, and they're going to be working now with the players. Obviously now with the World Cup and everything, the players are probably going back to a lot of their players are going back to their clubs now. Probably preparations for that. But in the coming weeks, though, when their squads announced, to be able to work with players, and this is where we need to get our act together now in the Republic. Vera Pauw's contract, as you said yourself, is, I think it's at the end, last day in August, is officially out. I'm up to correction on that, Paul.
Yeah.
Where her contract is up, and there's been some humming and hawing about from the FAI, this internal review. Everyone's going to have their say. As we said before the World Cup, there was a lot of baggage, which is probably unfair on Vera Pauw with the whole thing in America. When I can't remember the exact context now of it all.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure that if we're going to keep Vera Pauw, we back her to the hills and give her what she needs. Or if the FAI feel that after the World Cup that Vera Pauw has taken this team as far as she can, I think for footballing reasons, I think it'd be very, very harsh if Vera Pauw was to lose out. But it's up to the FAI now. Vera Pauw will say, look, if she's let go, there's a phrase that always comes around when a manager loses their job. That's football.
Yeah. No, I suppose. Yeah. Sorry, no, just like if the FAI are going to let her go, I hope to God they have someone lined up.
Yeah.
And in mind will say, because if they're just going to let her go because of the internal stuff or outside pressure, and then suddenly if they're going to start looking around you who's going to become the next manager, it'll be an absolute disaster. Now, I think they should keep her on, but that's irrelevant what I think. But if they're going to let her go, they should be immediately, they should have somebody already in mind. Like, you'd wonder, like Northern Ireland, they let go their manager with the Shields. They obviously had this Tanya available. She came on seeing they had the contact made and somewhere she's appointed with. I just hope that if the Northern Ireland don't renew the contract with Vera Pauw, that they have someone lined up ready to come in. But and I'd be afraid, I have no inside knowledge, it's only an observer, I'd be afraid to let her go, and next thing they go looking around looking for a replacement at that stage. That would be an absolute disaster, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Paul, whatever happens, I think whoever, if they do let her go, and we have to mention it's all if buts and maybes. But if they do let her go, they have to have a nail-on replacement straight away. Because if they let her go and then find out, that he or she doesn't fancy it, then the FAI left into the massive hole altogether, where they have no head coach, and there's Nations League games coming in just under a month. So whatever they decide, they better make it quick after the end of this month. There's about another less than 11 days left in this month. I'd have to get the date myself, to be honest. But they really need to get cracking now. Even Northern Ireland now took their time putting a new manager in place. I remember on the coverage on TV, they had a Northern Ireland player on the panel, and they were saying we still don't have a manager, but we're going to back him to the hill. The player, I think it was Hamilton, her name was, on television when I went to doing the analysis. So, and that took a while for Northern Ireland to get a new manager in. Now,
but at least they had time during the summer, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Ireland, the Republic have no time now.
Yeah, but that's the trouble, Paul. I know they had time to scoop around and see who was interested in the job, who wasn't. And to be fair, Paul, a lot of managers don't want to be contacted if a manager is still in place. That obviously in football, we've seen in the past where one manager gets sacked. I think
the phrase for cutting across a few years ago in the English used to be called tapping up. Well, it's legal or not now, but I think that was the phrase they do. That was the official term they had for it.
Yeah. I think that's what happens. When one manager gets sacked and a day later, or even a couple of hours later, new manager's brought in. So damn well that there's been contact. Yeah. But some don't, which is some principles. But to be fair, other managers have done it in the past where every manager has been told when they're doing them coaching badges, whatever, someday you're going to get sacked. So they all know it's fair game. Once you're out of the job, the next person is in line. But get back to Vera Pauw. It'd be very, very harsh for some person that has brought Ireland to World Cup finals in the first time ever. She was very unlucky not to get to the Euros. They messed up against the Ukraine, and they definitely had too much to do, and they came third, I think, in that group. And Germany and Ukraine. Germany went through and Ukraine went to the playoff. And actually, funny enough, Northern Ireland was one that beat them in the playoff. So if Ireland had done their stuff, they would have played Northern Ireland in the playoff, and that would have been exciting to watch that one. But look, it's all in the FAI now in this one. Vera Pauw is just hanging around. She's wondering, will I have a job in less than 10 days' time or not?
Yeah. No,
I think it's the way.
Again, this is the FAI, we call it. It isn't a separate. The women's FAI is not a separate. It's the FAI board will make the decision. The one board was there, so you're dealing with the FAI, the board who are over the whole thing. So it isn't just a separate women's committee. With that, if you go back in the FAI board, I remember when Steve Staunton was appointed with Bobby Robson as his mentor. Now Steve Staunton was an outstanding player for Ireland. He over 100 caps, an outstanding player with Liverpool, Aston Villa, a brilliant professional to Bobby Robson. It couldn't be better. But unfortunately, Steve Staunton just wasn't up to the test. I think he was the assistant manager at Walsall at the time. He just wasn't. He wasn't his fault. He should never have been appointed. But the FAI made that appointment, and it was a big hoo-ha about it. So the pressure is on the FAI now, and that appointment was an absolute disaster, and we all know why. But Steve Staunton just wasn't good enough as a manager, and I'm not really he was an outstanding player. So the FAI have a bit of a coloured history of picking managers too.
Yeah, they have made they made a wrong choice in a lot of the cases. Even the McCarthy Stephen Kenny's team, where they gave a contract for McCarthy guaranteed 2 years, but then you're going to be whatever you do, you could win. I'm exaggerating here now, but you could win the Euros, but you're still going to lose out on the job. I think that was a weird. I've never seen it done before like that before. Yeah. Men's or women's football, where you hire one manager, you sack him on. He's even got a date when he's going to be sacked or going to be let go, and then the new manager is going to come in after him. Yeah. So but that wasn't all John Delaney era, and I think they're trying to get away from that. But to be fair, they have a lot of proving to do, whether they've sorted themselves out or not.
Yeah.
And look, the FAI, a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in the FAI. And I'm right.
That would be an understatement, no. That would be an understatement.
I think that is. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it as unbiased as I can here. But no, look, it's all on them now. It's they've got the internal review. They spoke to everyone. I'm sure they've spoken to Vera Pauw. She's made it clear. Well, she hasn't said I'm definitely want to stay, but she's made it clear that she does want to stay. She loves the job. I think the Irish people have taken Vera Pauw to their hearts. I think they actually really like her, and I think they like her straightforwardness and no rubbish in terms of. And I think that's what. Remember what happened with Jack. You know, a lot of people love with Jack was his straightforwardness and called it as he saw it.
Yeah.
So I think it's all in the FAI now. I think it's very hard in Vera Pauw. She's just waiting around twiddling her thumbs and saying, you know, what's the deal here, lads? You know, you let me know or not. But whatever happens, if they do back Vera Pauw, I hope she gets a 2-year contract and she's got the Euros and said, look, whatever's happened in the past. Just this is your job now. Qualify us for the Euros. If they let her go, like you said, get a new manager in ASAP because that game against Northern Ireland is less than a month away.
Yeah. Okay, no. Thank you very much.